Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dewey,
Dewey who?
do we have some corny jokes for you?
What made the fish blush?
What?
It saw the ocean's bottom.
Lynn, what's an avocado's favorite kind of music? What? Guac and roll!
What did one ocean say to the other?
What?
Nothing. It just waved.
I see what you did there.
I'm sure you did.
Okay, this is getting out of hand.
I'm starting to agree with you.
Okay, you're just luring me in now.
You don't have to be so crabby.
Just wait a minute.
Okay, fine, I'm done. I'll G you later.
So a guy spots a sign on this house that says dog for sale. He goes in, intrigued, and asks, "What have you done with your life?" And the dog says, "Well, I've done lots of things. I've saved people in the Alps, I've served a tour in Iraq, and now I spend my time reading this book in this retirement home." Guy flabbergasted says, "Why on earth would you want to get rid of this dog?" And the guy says, "Because he's a liar. He's never done any of that."
What did the librarian say to the rapper? "I like big books and I cannot lie." What does a book do in the winter? It puts on a book jacket. What does the librarian say when she has to leave? Time to book.
Why does a basketball player never go on vacation?
Why?
He'd be called for traveling.
Why are teddy bears never hungry?
Why?
They're always stuffed.
So there's two olives, doing what olives do, walking the Olive Garden. So the green olive falls, and the black olive's like, "Hey man, you alright?" And the green olive says, "It's cool, I'll live."
What does a Pink Panther say when he steps on an ant? Dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant.
What's a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet?
R.
Oh, you'd think it'd be the R, but they really love the C.
So on National Tell-A-Joke Day, I have to do one on for my brothers in blue with the PD. So a man in his mid-40s bought a new convertible Corvette. He was out on the interstate for a nice evening drive. The top was down, the breeze was blowing through a little bit of his hair he had left on his head, and he decided to see what the engine had. So he got on the accelerator, the needle jumped to 90 miles an hour, and then he suddenly looked up and saw red and blue lights behind him. So there's no way they can catch me, he thought, not in this car. So he got on a little bit more, he got up to 100, he got up to 110, and then finally reality hit him and he knew that he shouldn't run from the police. So he slowed down and he pulled over. A cop came up to him, took his license without a single word and examined it and the car. He looked at him, he said, "You know what?" He said, it's been a long day, it's the end of my shift and it's Friday the 13th. I don't feel like doing any more paperwork, so if you can give me one excuse for your driving that I have not heard before, I'm gonna let you go this time. The guy thought about it for a second. He says, "Well, last week my wife ran off with a cop and I was afraid you were trying to give her back." The cop looked at him, handed him back his license, said, "Have a nice weekend," said the officer, and he walked away.
Why didn't the orange make it up the hill? I don't know. It ran out of juice.
So I was talking to a couple of guys that were over at Frontier Park. They were walking their dogs, one with a German Shepherd, one with a Chihuahua. And so they were out there, and it was a really hot day, and they passed each other on the walking trail and struck up a conversation. They said, "Man, it's really hot out there. It'd be nice to, get a drink." And the guy said, "Well, there's a patio restaurant right over here. Why don't we just go grab a drink at a patio restaurant?" And the guy said, "Well, that's a great idea, but we have these dogs. What are we going to do?" The guy with German Shepherd says, "Just follow my lead and come on." So they go over to the patio restaurant, and the guy said, just watch this and do what I do. So he walks up and he said, "I'd like to have a table, please." And the hostess there, looked at him and said, "Well, sir, we don't serve dogs in the restaurant. The town of Prosper has an ordinance not to serve dogs in the restaurant." And he said, "This is my seeing eye dog." She said, "I'm sorry, sir, come right on in." So the guy with the Chihuahua looked at this and said, "Well, that'll look pretty easy." So he walks up, he said, "I'd like to have a table, please." And she said, "Well, sir, the town of Prosper has an ordinance that we don't serve dogs. He said, well, this is my seeing eye dog. She looked at the dog and she said, you have a Chihuahua for a seeing eye dog? And he goes, oh, they gave me a Chihuahua for a seeing eye dog?
So this elderly couple was sitting in church one day, all right? And the wife turns over to the man and yells in his ear, I just let out a silent fart. Husband replies back and says, honey, you need to replace the battery in your hearing aid.
What's the difference between the bird flu and the swine flu? One requires treatment and the other an ointment.
What did the duck say to the comedian? You crack me up.
Hey, Larry. Hey, Larry. Why did the book join the police force? I said, why did the book join the police force? Because he wanted to go undercover.
What's orange and sounds like a parrot?
What?
A carrot. Okay, I got another one. What do you call a dog that can do magic?
What?
A labracadabradoodle.
What do you get from a pampered cow? Spoiled milk.
Did you hear about the cross-eyed teacher? She couldn't keep her pupils straight.
Where did the one-legged pirate go to eat breakfast?
Where?
IHOP.
So what do you call cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese.
What type of sandals do frogs wear? Open-toed.
Oh, why did the football coach go to the bank?
Why?
To get his quarterback.
2 pickles fell out of a jar and onto the floor. What did one say to the other? Anybody?
What?
Deal with it. Here's one for some of my favorite listeners. They know who they are. What do you call a pirate droid?
What?
No guesses? Arg! 2D2. Ha ha ha.